Hello and welcome back to my fourth attempt at getting this live stream working. Last time it actually went, but no audio, and the previous two times, I don't know, Streamlabs doesn't want to play along with live events at the moment. I have to troubleshoot that later. So sorry for the delay. I was talking to myself for about 20 minutes over there. Good fun times. So we're going to be adding windows into these boarded up windows because we don't have any natural light in here. The only light source is really our big spotlights, which we've got some just very cheap LED lights mounted to the ceilings in each area. And we also have some cinema lights here, which are great, but if they're somewhere else because we're filming or we're doing work where we need more light, they can be a little bit dangerous in here, as you know, there's really not much light around when all the windows are boarded up. That said, there is a little bit of light coming through a couple of the front windows, as they just have vapor barrier, moisture barrier film in there, damp-proof membrane, but it's not ideal. So the wifely one wants some natural light. We're getting our sunsets at something like midnight now, or rather last light at midnight, and sunrise is about 2 a.m. So we can make use of what natural light there is when it's not sunny. When it's not cloudy, when it is sunny. I've got these sheets of pretty thin plastic, should be transparent. They're either acrylic or polycarbonate. I don't remember what I ordered. Whatever was cheapest, A4 sheets. Middle window is getting 2 sheets. Not a lot of space there, but we've got big spotlights in the middle here. The end windows are getting 4. Excuse me, it's very dusty in here. So we're going to be putting 2 sheets into this window. Like I say, not a lot of light, but we'll be doing 4 on either end because the machinery over here blocks pretty much any light getting into this end, despite the fact there are 3 windows there, but they're all boarded up. And this end where the stairs and kiln are, there's also not a lot of light. So we're going to see what we can do about that today, if this live stream works. Thank you, Rebus. So it looks like we've actually got audio for a change. That's novel. Right, so on this window, I already started because I thought the stream was running, but I don't know, it doesn't show up at all on YouTube. So I've marked up my 4 panels here. We're going to go with vertical panels in this one. And I've marked them out so that they're mostly centered. And we have a strip of wood which we're going to leave behind so we can glue these in so they'll be waterproof. What I want to do now is see about drilling the corners so that I can run the jigsaw down to create an X pattern with the aim of cutting the damp-proof membrane which is on the outside of this board, because I don't want to just cut it off and then have a spot for water to hit the window and then run down and pull on the damp-proof membrane, because that means it's just going to pour inside, especially if it's windy. So I'm going to continue on with doing this drilling and see how we go. Should have put these holes in the bottom, it would have been a bit easier. Oh well, live and learn. Yeah, so it looks like we have cut at least some of the membrane. So I'll cut across the top of this one and see what we're left with behind there. So that's now in the backyard, but we can see I've clean cut the film at the top, that's fine. The bit I don't want to clean cut through is the bit at the bottom. So hopefully that should stay back by itself, I think, enough that I'm not going to cut through it. We'll see. Might need to hold it while I cut, which is going to be interesting. Oh, I didn't mute that. I'm very sorry for your ears. I should have muted that mic. My bad. And yes, Daniel, we had technical issues. The streaming software tried to stream to the event I set up, but nothing happened. And then I started streaming and had no audio because the streaming software decided that audio is surplus to requirements. Yeah, I'm not cutting off fingers. I've got a good gap there, which won't show up on the camera, but there's a very large gap between my fingers and the saw blade. So yeah, I haven't really thought this through, what we're going to do. I just wanted to put some windows in. I've had this plastic sitting here for ages. I thought it could be an interesting task to do, and this week has been very, very physically strenuous as we've taken everything out of the kiln, from the grain hoist, from the drying floor. We've set up 3 bays of scaffolding all the way to the roof out the back of the kiln so I can get into that top window. Set up a new winch, so we've got a 60 kilonewton winch which we use to pull a couple of those beams out. It's been, we got out of here at about 9 p.m. last night. Been a very, very hectic week. So this is a nice low impact job for me to do while the wifely one and our helper are digging bird shit out of the kiln, because there's plenty of it. We've got probably, I don't know, maybe 50 barrow loads left to get out of there. But yeah, they're all suited up doing that while I'm taking a break. So let there be light. Now the challenge with this is if I bring these in and just staple them inside, my window is going to be glued to the damp-proof membrane, which isn't necessarily ideal. So what I might do is, I don't know, can I staple this inside the window there and then just staple the bottom one? That might work. Yeah, let's try that. We can grab the staple gun. I didn't bring the staple gun down. Of course the staple gun isn't upstairs because I took it downstairs last night. Block up the kiln opening. In the opening we made last week on the live stream. Okay, we have a staple gun. In December, this thing saved my life. This is amazing. We put so many staples in when we're building the blocking up of all these windows. So many staples. It's a great little staple gun. Little staple there. Cheeky little staple there. There we go. I mean, the glue can still attach to the damp-proof membrane, but it won't get in the way. But that's not a staple gun. Everything's red. So today is going to be Milwaukee Day. Normally it's DeWalt Day. Okay, so I'm going to leave that all the way across for the bottom because it's more important there. Oh, get off there. There's a hook, there's a belt hook on the staple gun and it keeps grabbing the microphone cable, which is not ideal. Oh, that missed. There we go. Alright, that's one window done. Already got more light in here, it's great. Won't drill that hole first. I was thinking it might be more convenient to drill that hole for the bottom, but I don't think it will be. Okay, the top one again. Well, I should mute this for you guys, shouldn't I? There's a helicopter out there. Yeah, that's Coast Guard. Oh dear. That usually means someone needs to go to hospital in a hurry. Hope they're alright. geez, yeah, there is. There's a Coast Guard helicopter just outside the window coming into land. Oh man, I hope everyone's okay. Problem with being on a small island, we have a doctor's surgery, but ferries take an hour. So if someone's injured or has a heart attack or something, that's how you get to hospital, I assume, having not done that myself. That's not good. Lovely view out this window. All you can see is all the rubbish and bird crap and scaffolding. Greetings, Kimberly. Nice of you to join us. Slight issue here. These staples aren't going all the way in because this side of the board isn't really attached to anything, so it's bouncing too much for the staple gun. I'll push them in with some pliers. There we go. Two windows down. Again, that is not a jigsaw. Nice and lightweight though. Hey Mads, yeah, well there's, what, 150 watts of LED on this level, so actually no, including the stuff by the watermill, we've got about 200 watts happening here. Now this camera might bounce around a bit because the floors here are, well, it's plywood sitting on top of loose beams. Let's get some focus. There we go. See what we're doing. Yeah, the camera's going to sway around like crazy because yeah, this floor is not supported. There you go. See the sky outside. Cloudy today. Ah, no more staples. Back in a second. The OSB is, I think, 9mm. It's whatever was cheapest. Enough to secure our windows from the weather and not cost a fortune. I think it's 9. Let's see. Yeah, that's 9mm. 3/8 of an inch. For those of you who are not, well, from those of you who are from the United States or Liberia. That's sitting there, right? There we go. Okay. Haven't seen that happen before. Oh, we got a whole bunch of mashed staples there. Nice. There we go. Better. Oops, missed that one. There we go. Next window. The wifey is, the plywood on the floor, sorry, 18mm. So 3/4 of an inch. The wifey is digging stuff in the kiln. So the kiln, we have removed all of the drying floor that's now sitting on the ground. So she is doing that, and so is our helper. And we are making a mountain of bird crap out the back, which is interesting. Not a staple gun. uh, and get all the Milwaukee tools mixed up today, aren't I? It's been a long week. Close. go. So if you're up with a little bit of jostling, I can do this. And this is the view we get from our lounge room. We have piles of bird crap from the kiln. We have piles of rubbish from the previous owners. And we have piles of scaffolding. And a really nice view out over the fields as well. Some wind turbines. Nice hill. More wind turbines. Let's get the camera back on the tripod. A little awkward. Fairly new tripod for me. And it works a little bit differently than the other ones we were using, but one of the other ones fell over, which is not ideal. Okay, back to 800. And because I didn't check batteries yesterday, we're on little tiny 100 watt hour batteries today, which means that I'm going to be changing batteries every half hour, 45 minutes or so, which means time for a battery change. And then I wait for the resync, so that's the before. Once the camera resyncs, we'll have the after. If you've got any questions, let me know. Where's everyone from? Like, what countries? Whereabouts in the world are you all from? Right now, I think it's about 12 degrees here. It's not overly toasty. We had 15 degrees Celsius earlier this week. So, yeah, new batteries on. Let's see what the weather station says. Our weather station says it is 12.6 degrees, feels like 13.7. Winds are east-southeast, 14.4 miles per hour. And we're getting 552 watts per square meter of sunlight with 75.6% humidity. And that's the weather just out there, because we've got our weather station out there. Yeah, 17 degrees is about our average summer temperatures. So average summer temperature is about 17, and maximums are about 19 up here. We're almost at the Arctic Circle, but we're also completely surrounded by ocean. So, you know, it does have a very big moderating effect, and in winter, average is about, I think, 3 or 4 degrees. So it doesn't really get below 2 very often, but we have seen it snow up here. Yeah. Okay, now the question is, do I go ahead and glue these ones up, or do I move on to the next one? And I think I'm going to glue this one up just to see if my idea is going to work. So what I've got is a decorating gun and some, I can't believe it's not nails, because this was the cheapest per tube. That's about as cheap as it gets. And we're going to try some of this with maybe some duct tape to hold it in place while this sticks. I don't know how sticky this is, So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a hatchet job. What I didn't want to do was go and basically make a whole bunch of internal framing for this out of bits of wood or something and then screw it all in. Just seems like a bit of a waste of time. That's these. Well, these are probably going to be here through winter. Depends on when we get our second planning permission and building warrant, basically, as to when that will happen. But they have accepted our second building warrant. Second planning and listed building consent application, which is a big step. Just having that accepted and them not finding the initial major flaws is definitely progress. I'm trying to get this across the edge of the damp-proof membrane. What I might also do is I think I might just poke a little hole in the bottom of the damp-proof membrane here, so if it does get water between the two, it's going to leak outside, not inside. There we go. Should help. Now, see if this terrible plan is going to work. This is the... I thought about it a bit while trying to sleep, and this is the best I could come up with. That's going to be easy and take no time sort of plan, which is to say it's not well engineered, but we'll see what happens. As long as it's mostly watertight and the wind hitting this doesn't blow these panels inwards, because we do get some pretty high winds up here. I also got solvent-free glue because I didn't want it to craze my plastic and have it all go to hell. Seems to be not terrible. And I tell you what, I can believe it's not nails, because nails are generally not white and squishy. Okay, don't squish that too much or we'll end up losing the glue. And I think I might just put a little strip of Gorilla Tape, because that's what the store had, across the top, just to stop it from sliding downwards under its own weight. It does seem to be holding there pretty well though. Okay, next panel. That's nice, nice and clear. And the question is going to be whether this adhesive even sticks to very smooth plastics or not. Might end up having to come back here with some frames and hold everything in place. Hey, Mr. Helper, how does it look? Got a thumbs up. Okay, admittedly, this is quite possibly the worst window framing job you'll ever see. But things are temporary, hopefully. So much brighter in here now. Just this one window. It's almost as bright as the lights. Actually, it is brighter than the lights in several spots. Okay. Now, good to know about the helicopter being out for scenic flight, no emergency. Thanks for that. For final windows, we're doing open out windows. So our architect said that doing a sliding sash in this amount of space is, well, because some of our other windows are a bit smaller, sliding sash is a giant pain to make. I kind of wanted to go with them, the wife kind of wanted to go with them, but it's a lot of hours to put into to building those. Yeah, he said that he didn't think that these window openings were substantial enough to allow for a sliding sash, so we are going to go with open out windows. So we'll have a center bar, and then the two windows will open outwards on either side. And my brain is too mushy right now to think of the technical name for that. So they will have 4 double glazed units in them. I wanted to go triple, but triple really seems to benefit a lot with noise, but not so much with temperature. When we were in Canada, we had triple glazed windows. You get a minus 40 outside and plus 20 inside, 60 degree temperature differential, and seemed to perform very well, but apparently not really worth the extra cost, or particularly for us, the extra thickness. Though the units we had in Canada were quite thin, so I don't know. but apparently in the UK they might make them different. So double glazed windows and 4 panels per, kind of like this except much slimmer, not so chunky. They're very chunky windows. But we have to wait for the council to approve those windows before we can do anything with that, because we need listed building consent for that. We need building warrant for that to make sure that our window design is going to meet building standards, because they want to make sure that your windows are going to be able to drain correctly, not going to just let loads of water in, and they're also going to be energy efficient. All very important things. And in some areas of the country, they also want to make sure they're secure enough, but honestly on a island with a ferry as the only way to get on or off, if someone were to break into your house, it's kind of obvious who did it, especially if they're taking all your stuff across to the mainland. Okay, that's done. We'll have to check back here soon and see if they're sort of slipping and sliding at all. Let's go look at window number 2. Take all the tools over there. Hopefully that doesn't set the time it takes to do them. So do have to be careful moving around here because we have a giant hole in the floor. That really shows how much brighter it is with that window. So if we look at the floor here, which is in the middle of the room, which has got about 50 watts of lighting on it, directly on it, versus over here, where the sunlight is, it looks much nicer, other than the giant mess I just created. Yeah, that's quite good. Right, let's get on with window number 2. You know, the wife, I'm just putting some tape on the end of this caulking gun. The wife was absolutely right. Having this natural light in here makes a massive difference. We've got visibility outside as well. It's really nice just while I was putting that tape on the gun so the cork doesn't go off. Just nice being able to look outside and see other people doing work. Much more strenuous work than what I'm doing. Just nice. This camera behind these pillows. Hopefully not have it fall through the floor. That would be tremendously expensive. Okay, I need my level so I can do some marking on this. Window frame material. So Moose is asking about window frame material and color, or is that predefined? Predefined. So, but it's a choice we're happy with. The building historically, at least on the front, is all black painted or creosoted material, so it would have had tar on it, a lot of it, and or black paint in other areas. So we have to have a black front door, the grain hoist has to be black, and the windows will have to be black because, you know, it's a historic building, and all timber framed. So in a historic building, you're basically not allowed any plastics whatsoever, which in my mind is awesome. So we have to go with cast metal guttering. We've specified cast aluminium because the previous owners had bought a lot of cast aluminium gutters in, which they got, I'm assuming, used because all the powder coatings come off them. So we're gonna have to redo all of that as part of redoing the roof, but that's fine. Saves us a ton of money having those here. So we can't use plastic guttering. We can't use PVC framed windows or PVC windows, which are super popular in the UK, and I think they look absolutely terrible. So we're going with all handmade timber windows, which we'll be making ourselves as part of the channel. So we're very lucky that one of the builders on the island has a really nice multifunction machine. So it's a table saw, spindle molder, thickness planer all in one. We've got a thickness planer to bring here so we can surface off these floorboards and these beams, if the ones we're removing, to see just how rotten they are, if we can salvage any of it for the other machinery. But having that over there, being able to basically hire use of his machine is great, because he's got all the cutters for doing sash windows, and he has all the equipment which we need to make sash windows. So we'll be able to make our own sashes over there and make all our own profiles. And I'm not sure exactly what wood we're going to go for. I'd hope we can use like an Iroko or something, so it's going to handle, you know, salt, it's going to handle wetness, it's going to handle all sorts of weather, and is not going to be prone to insects. Oak is nice, but it's just not as weather resistant as some other woods. So I think we can do something with some nice hardwood, which is going to be insect resistant and hopefully last, you know, 100 years. Because paint's are fallible, so we want the wood beneath to be able to handle it, even if, you know, paint starts peeling or gets scratched or damaged in some way. Anyway, that's beside the point here. Too busy talking about what we want to do, I don't mind talking about what we want to do. It's great being able to share what we're planning, but also don't want to just talk about the future here, because you guys will get bored. So I'm going to mark this window up with, one there, another panel on the lines I prepared earlier. So then we want our inset for the glue. Wait, which camera am I on? I'm positioning myself in the way of one camera. I'm on number 2. Okay. Sorry if I'm getting in the way. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them and I'll check them every now and then. Definitely feels good. This has been a really productive week. Got a lot of stuff done this week, which is super awesome. We've got scaffolding set up, which we're probably going to have to take down, to be honest, because we're going to have to move it to do the main roof. But we've been able to see on top of the kiln, which is a huge step. And we got the grain drying floor out of the kiln, which is a massive step. That was a real pain. That took us about 2 weeks to do, and a decent amount of money as we had to order new machinery to do that. Wait, there it is. Okay, mute this. Good, I've got to put my X's on. I got a nice path to follow with the jigsaw. That'll do it. Yep, just didn't mute it, sorry. Looks like the upper section of this window has glass in it, which makes me really tempted to just break it. Ah, dear. Let's have a look at this bottom one and see what happens. Didn't expect to find glass. I thought I don't think these back windows had any. No glass here. Glass here. Oh, it's just hanging on. It's not attached at the bottom at all. Yeah, that's a nice little safety hazard. Don't want to push it out, so I might as well leave it. How's the volume when I got this microphone and I'm using the tools? Is it too much or is it just peaking out? Well, this camera will do 300 frames a second in 1080, so I could do slow-mo. These staples aren't going in well. Oh, it's shooting 2 staples at a time. That's fun. Yeah, what's going on with that? Why are we getting 2 staples firing? I was going to leave that like the other ones, but got distracted. Oh well. It'll be fine. I'm going to add another hole on this one to the outside so we get some flooding. And let's see if we can cut this up without breaking the glass. Yeah, the jigsaw blade's not going to make it that far. Okay. Makes it extra exciting trying to reach in. Again, sorry. Right. Up on bottom, I'm going to give that a bit of a clean, I think, once I get this stapled on. What's everyone's favourite or the bit you're most looking forward to seeing on this rebuild and restoration? Anyone got anything they're particularly interested in seeing happen? At the moment, I'm kind of excited and terrified about seeing the roof happen. Now that we have the building warrant, all the materials hopefully finish paying for them this weekend. Get everything ordered, and we might have everything in a couple of weeks, which means no more excuses. Got to get on with the roof. Definitely going to be an interesting project doing the roof as a single person doing it without a lot of help. We do have a local contractor coming in to do our asbestos for us. So they're going to take all the asbestos down, which is going to be really nice, not having to deal with that. And the rest of it's pretty much down to me. We do have our helper, but he doesn't want to go on the scaffolding, which is absolutely fine. His insurance doesn't cover him out on scaffolding. So he just wants to hang out inside, which is great because he can pass things through. There's plenty of things he can do to help, but heavy lifting is going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm really interested in looking at the machinery as well, Kayla. I tried speaking to a company who does laser cleaning systems. So I thought it was going to be a pulsed IR laser, but it seems to be a continuous wave RF laser. And they sell and rent systems for cleaning rust off things, and obviously our rust is a bit more substantial than they are intending to deal with. But their sales rep was utterly useless. Without even mentioning YouTube or what we're really wanting to do, we're just saying we're doing conservation stuff. They're like, no, too expensive, not what you want, do it some other way. Without even knowing a budget, we could have been doing a multi-million-pound restoration, all funded by the government or something, rather than, very tight budget private thing. I was just so unimpressed with them, but I thought, at least on some of the machinery where the scale isn't so thick, and we just need to clean up the paint a little bit and polish it up, like the cast beams downstairs are really good candidate for that sort of thing. They were just so negative about the whole process of laser cleaning that I think we'll just give that a miss. Very disappointing. It could be a really great way to clean it without damaging anything. It's really rattling in the frame. There we go. Some industrial wipes, Wonder wipes. Get rid of all the mold. Final wipe down with some baby wipes. That'll just get rid of any smeariness out there. Oh yeah, still dirty as anything. Wipes done, time for glue. How long does this stuff have as a working life? Only support overhead application 24 hours. Doesn't say how long it takes to cure. Wonderful. Frame, it's out of frame. Okay, duct tape, just on the other window. Let's see how these windows are doing. One of them's definitely tilting a bit. I might just put a bit of extra tape on it, but the others are looking okay. So yeah, the stuff on the other windows is starting to thicken up a little bit. Good long strip across the top of this. I'll do another couple of bits across the corners. That extra janky look. Everyone loves the half-assed look, don't they? It's just so classy. Pretty sure these panels are acrylic. They get the static like acrylic does. The carbonate doesn't tend to get as staticky. Right, another window. All done. You can see outside. Be quite a nice view from the living room. That's the fence of our property boundary there. Okay, the next window is back here. It's going to be a 4-panel, and I have to figure out how to get a camera in here. But first we need tools. Okay, I need tools over there. Okay, now I gotta figure out how to get a camera in there to get any sort of view. I suspect this is not going to get much of a view from over here. Yeah, you're just going to see my back from there. Okay, that might do. Whoops, I can't get past the camera. Yeah, that wasn't well thought out. Okay. Whoa. Giant cast iron wheel there. I'd avoid that. Yeah. Can you put? Yeah, that one will show that one because that's that camera's viewfinder. Yeah, it tends to show the viewfinder of the camera on the screen of the camera that the camera is attached. Out of staples again. Wifey, can you grab me some staples from that middle window, please? Save me trying to squeeze past the camera again. It should be on the left-hand side of the windowsill. Give me a couple. I go through them like crazy. Okay. Thank you. Oh, there's no floor there. You gotta watch where you're walking. Spots here without so much as anything between me and the ground below. .70 means root 335 for a center. Top to bottom. Uh, 150, so we're at 525. This window's a little bit different sized. How are we going to get these in here? Same spacing as last time will work. Issue. My plastic above is going down a little far. Okay. 4 panes marked out. If anyone's got any questions. Question is, do I get any Wi-Fi service over here? Oh dear. Yeah, so that is new. Somehow Wi-Fi doesn't get from the other end of the building on the top floor to this corner through wooden floors. Okay, apparently I can get onto one of them. Yeah, I am reading chat occasionally. It's just difficult to be doing this while watching chat at the same time. Okay, next one is drawing out our frame. This bottom section is going to be challenging to do. It's very, very close to the extra lip I had to put in. This window was a bit of a mess as far as extra bits of concrete and everything going on when we boarded it up. It was really challenging, hence the extra framing on this window compared to the others. This window has been out for at least 20 years. Well, for around 20 years. Almost forgot my diagonal lines again. There we go. Now I can do my drilling. Whoa. That floor is really dangerous. Second time I've almost fallen through it. Tool time. Anyone's got any questions or stuff they want to suggest? You're more than welcome to ask. Have we had a chance to explore any of the island? We did a little bit. We've been working pretty hard here, so haven't explored as much as we'd like, and with lockdowns only just really getting released, it's not been a lot of the, well, what tourist stuff there is on this island has been closed. We tried to go to one of the Brocks and chambered cans, and that was closed. We did get to have a nice walk around it, look at an old, very ancient ruined church. We've obviously driven around the island multiple times. Not that that takes more than 20 minutes. We go down to the beaches, a couple of spots. I've had a look through a couple of ruins. Her wifiness has looked at more of it as she's taken the tiny human for walks. But yeah, there's not been a huge amount of time. There's definitely some really nice walks we want to do. There's been a massive uptick in tourists the last week or so, like packs of tourists going around looking at things and cycling, and lots of cars we haven't seen before. So that's been an interesting experience. Not something we've really experienced up here. But yeah, we haven't had as much time to explore this island as we'd like. We did go last week, before when we did our shopping, we went and looked at one of the only working watermill in Scotland, which still grinds flour. We went and had a look at that. And we went to do our groceries, which was amazing. That was super awesome to go and see what they were doing, and see it's the same model of mill as ours, but 97 years newer, I think. But they've got the same setup for the stones and the woodwork, but like this shaft, they don't have this shaft coming out horizontally out from there. They don't have the blower here, the machine which is over there on the right hand side of the wheels, it's downstairs. So same functionality, just different configurations as they've been upgraded differently. That was super awesome. In December we had a look at a couple of the things on the mainland, but again, everything's closed. Everything owned by Historic Scotland's been closed, so there's only so much you can really see. But yeah, we've just been like, every hour I spend working here, I'll spend an hour and a half at home working on the planning or trying to get supplies, or just trying to deal with all the logistics of getting stuff here. It's amazing how much work is involved in being able to do the work. I see why people hire project managers for restorations and self-builds. There is a lot of stuff trying to make sure that thing is going to be on track. Like, spent last week organizing a road closure so we can close the road for a while, because doing the kiln, when we want to take all the asbestos tiles off, drop the roof, put the new roof back up, we have to close the road because our scaffolding goes into the road, and the spec is, I think, 3.4 meters is the minimum width for a road to be remaining like accessible for emergency vehicles. I don't think that road is 3.4 meters wide, so we can't put scaffolding on the road and still keep it open. And that's about £1,000 project to close the road, with the council costs, the advertising cost, and the signage we need to put up a legal road closure, Section 8 road closure. It's substantial. So yeah, while it sometimes might seem we haven't been doing a lot, like sometimes I'm struggling to come up with stuff for a weekly update, it's just never ending on the preparation side of things. Like, it's just to get our timber has arrived at the timber merchant this week on Monday, and I'm still waiting on quotes to get back from the hauliers and the truckers, and I'm trying to get another dehumidifier up here because both of our dehumidifiers died. Amazon took the return, which is great, despite the fact they're rated at commercial, and trying to get an industrial dehumidifier. I've emailed about 25 dehumidifier companies and sellers asking about their products, and not a single one has replied. So it takes forever. And what else have we been doing which takes forever? Yeah, our consents came through, so we got our second listed building consent, so we can now rip up all these floors, replace all the joints on these floorboards, move any machinery we need to move illegally, and then they also threw into that consent removing cement from the walls, so that was nice of them. They know what we're doing. They watch the YouTube channel as well. So we got that, but then that means we've got to get more stuff planned. Yeah, there's a lot of planning involved in just getting stuff done. A lot of logistics involved, especially being up here, which definitely detracts from getting work done and having any free time to do island tours and stuff and just get out and walk, because I still have client work to do. We've had recently some deadlines for clients, and my main client is now ramping back up, so I've got to prepare a whole bunch of content for them for July. So yeah, we're kind of working between the mill and other stuff about 80 hours a week, I guess. It's but it's good. It's good that we've got work when a lot of other people just don't. So I'm very fortunate for that, and that's what we need to be able to keep doing this, because with the cost of the roof, money is getting incredibly tight right now, because we've just spent over £10,000 on timbers. It's going to cost us another £1,500 to get it here. We've got £5,000 in roof windows. We've got another £6,000-7,000 in the roof insulation, sarking board, waterproof membranes, all of that. The tapes and everything will go into that, and we still need to order the slate lookalike roof vents and everything. So yeah, big expenses right now. So I'm glad we've got the work. Anyway, on with windows. Okay, we've gone through almost another 100 watt hours of camera battery. So, that thing keeps attacking me. This is going to be my final set of windows. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I think I'm going to call a day with these ones. And if you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, now would be the time to leave them, and I can get to them before we finish up the stream. It's nice having windows over here though. I can actually see this machinery finally. It's been a long time since there's been a light which hasn't just been coming straight through an open window. Over here. This window has been open to the elements for a long time. It's so nice actually being able to look outside from here. I don't know how to explain it, but always having been inside this stone box with no view out as we work, it is really nice being able to look out and see the mill lathe and see our garden, such as it is. Dumping pile. But yeah, it certainly makes it feel a bit more like it could be a home in here. It's definitely been a great week for improving how homey this place is. Feeling like there might be some progress towards it with the work in the kiln and the having some windows now. I didn't think this would be quite as good as it is. I'm quite pleased with this. The wifely one has some great ideas sometimes. Many times. It's definitely one of them. Been difficult trying to justify getting this sort of project in when there's so much other stuff to do. So hopefully the live stream will let us do a couple of things like this. Is there anything you'd like to see in next week's live stream? Assuming we can find some projects for that. Make your suggestions. Might be able to find something fun to do. There's plenty of work to be done on here. I'm trying to keep the live streams to things we can do inside, because outside's typically pretty windy. And while it may not be as windy as it definitely can be in winter, it's very difficult to do audio outside because wind noise is brutal, even when you have a great big dead cat on the shotgun mic on the camera, which we're not using on this, but lav mics get pretty effective unless I hide it in a jacket or something. So yeah, I think indoor projects for the cameras, for the live streams. Also, the other problem we have is this camera is on a wireless transmitter, and it doesn't really do so great with punching through, really thick stone walls. So my fingertips are touching the outside of the wall, and basically my shoulder is on the inside of the wall. That's how chunky these walls are. It's 600-ish millimeters here. 700 millimeter thick wall. Not much radio gets through that. Why do I have 3 more panes here? Oh, cool. I have 2 more window panes than I thought I did. That means I can make a big window at the end of the mill wheels. I can put 4 panes in there. I thought I was only going to get 2. That's really good. I'm pleased with that. Last one, if you've got any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, now is the time. There we go. Hopefully, these are still here tomorrow. No, it's also not silicone, it's a urethane. I can't believe it's not nails. So it's a urethane sealant. It is going on the inside of the windows because I don't have a way to put it on the outside. My damp-proof membrane is now wrapped around and stapled to the frame and is overlapped by the urethane. So I shouldn't have any water come. If water does come onto here, it shouldn't really stick around. It should be a complete seal all the way around for rain which is getting blown against it. And in addition to that, this OSB is a waterproof grade OSB 3. So hopefully it shouldn't really matter like this. And I'm hoping we're going to get our main building warrant before the worst of the weather really sets in, and hopefully we can get some new windows in here. Maybe December would be really nice, but I don't know. The council will take as long as they take and give us whatever suggestions they feel like giving us to hopefully give us a better finished product at the end. Originally I did want to put the sealer on the outside, but I just don't have a way to glaze it from the outside. I don't have any way to get to put a plastic bit of window in there from outside, because it's not particularly windy, but it's windy enough that even if I put like suction cups or something on here and tried to put it through, it would be really difficult. And I don't have scaffolding out the back to be able to do it from the outside. So we are doing it from inside. Anyway, that's nice. I really like this. I'm actually genuinely surprised at how much better that makes this feel. As rubbish as those windows are, I am really quite surprised at how much better the mill feels having that extra light coming in and just being able to go and take a little peek out. It's really good. Let's see if I can spin this all around. Number one camera there. What do I do with my phone? It's over here. Okay. So, yeah, we are hoping to have scaffolding all the way along back here pretty soon. But right now we can't really do anything from the outside. I don't know if the exposure allows it, but there is a tiny bit of scaffolding there, which is the back of the kiln. Our priority right now is to get the kiln cleared. I want to have, in the next 2 weeks, the kiln completely empty. Nothing but dirt floor. And that's a lot of work. We've put in a ton of work over the past couple of weeks of getting the floor down, and we are now working on getting the last of the bird crap out, getting the last of starting to get the cement out. So hopefully by the end of this coming week we'll have all that cement out of the kiln, which is going to be epic and it's going to be really interesting. We're having a bit of a play today, and even with our really lightweight SDS drills, you can basically poke it straight through the cement. It's got all basically river stone, shore stone holding it together. So unlike a normal aggregate, we have a lot of jagged rock intersecting each other, creating a really strong structure. We don't have that, so that's a huge bonus for us that they built it so poorly. One of the interesting takeaways from visiting the other mill, which is still running, is that they say that their kiln and most other kilns in the world are a wooden slatted thing with a very thin layer of mortar, whereas ours is like 25 centimeters of solid concrete. Well, not so solid concrete, but you know what I mean. So hopefully we're going to be able to take that out and get that clear this week, which means then we've got a week to cut all the stone of the firebox away, and then we'll have an empty space in there ready for our road closure on, I think, the 15th of June and July. It's June now. Jesus. Time is flying by. So yeah, we've got our road closure for the 15th of July starting, and that will allow us to get the scaffolding up to take down the asbestos tile once our contractor has free time. So we want to have that pretty much as soon as the kiln completely ready for that, and hopefully have started on this roof before then. but that's going to mean that we have to have all of our materials and supplies and windows and so much stuff, about, I don't know, is it 8-10 tons more stuff to come up, about 10 more tons of materials to come up for that. It's a lot. No, it's way more than that, because it's 7 tons for the timber, 6 tons for the insulation and mortar. So yeah, we're at about another 15 tons there, plus the roof windows. It's a lot of material coming up. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and thanks for joining us. If you've got any suggestions, you can feel free to leave them as comments on this video or on the community tab. If you've got any suggestions for the live streams or ways that we can improve them, because we're still just figuring it out, as shown by how late this was. And we've got any suggestions of what you'd like to see done in a live stream as well, because we're trying to figure out indoor projects, because outdoors are a little bit challenging with the wind and potential rain and all the rest. So if you've got suggestions for indoor projects, feel free to leave them, and we'll see what we can do. And have a fantastic weekend, everyone, and thanks for watching.